You believe discipline is the key to riches. You believe self-control keeps you safe. You think avoiding primal desire makes you respectable. That belief is the root of your poverty. It is a lie whispered by the fearful, the weak. You are not lacking skill, you are lacking hunger. You have castrated the raw energy that demands creation, and now you wonder why your life feels sterile. You are starving your future by denying your nature. I will show you how the forbidden desire coiled in your gut becomes the gold in your hand. I will reveal the mechanism that turns lust into legacy. Listen closely. The money you seek is not a spreadsheet problem, it is an energy problem. It is the flow of psychic resource, the absolute will to exert force upon reality. Carl Jung called this force the libido. You hear that word and think only of sex. You are wrong, dangerously wrong. The libido is the molten core of your being, the biological will to live, to conquer, to consume. It is the fierce current that drives the shark, the architect, the warlord, the empire builder. When you repress your lust, your hunger, your primal yearning, you do not vanish the energy. You cannot destroy the source code of life. You simply reroute it. It turns inward, and begins to consume your own foundations. It manifests as anxiety, as self-sabotage, as the inexplicable inertia that keeps you glued to the floor, while others fly past. Your failure to acquire wealth is merely the external symptom of an internal energy blockage. You have dammed the river of your own power, and now you stand dry, begging for water. The life force you deny yourself is the exact currency you need to command the world. It is the fuel, and you have been pouring it onto the ground, fearing the fire. Listen closely, you must visualize this blockage. It is not spiritual, it is physiological. Picture the center of your core, the furnace where true hunger resides. You feel the heat, the aggressive desire, the urge to take what you want, to devour, to acquire. But you have built a cage around it, solid iron bars of societal expectation. Every time that furnace roars, demanding action, demanding acquisition, demanding sex, demanding power. You throw a blanket over the flames, a heavy wet blanket of shame. You tell the roaring beast inside, to sit, to be quiet, to be good, to be reasonable. This is the energy, the raw unspent libido, that was meant to be transmuted into the architecture of your empire. Instead it paces, trapped, becoming poison. It festers into self-loathing, it calcifies into procrastination. You are not lazy, you are simply choking the engine. You have mistaken the throttle for the brake. You think the world rewards meekness, but the world only rewards directed aggression. Now for the forbidden practice, the transmutation, the darkest alchemy. First, you must commit the ultimate heresy. You must stop apologizing for your hunger. Stop praying for modesty. Look at that caged beast, and unlock the door. Let it flood your veins, not with immediate physical action, but with pure focused intent. The energy itself is blind, it cares nothing for morality, it cares nothing for law. It seeks only expansion, only command. Your job is to give it a map. Take the image of the wealth you crave, the specific number, the specific asset, the specific level of control. And fuse it with the raw aggressive drive you have been denying. Do not ask how you will get it, simply accept that the energy now flows toward that target, like iron to a magnet. Feel the burning lust for money, the same intensity you feel for sex, or dominance. It is the same exact current, running through different wires. You do not clean the river, you simply reroute it. Every morning, every moment you feel that aggressive impatient drive, that tension in your stomach, that burning need to possess. You do not release it randomly, you point it. You point it directly at the obstacle that stands between you and your command. This is the dark alchemy of the self. The shadow is not something to be managed, it is the engine to be driven. It is the hammer that forges your reality, and you have been letting it rust. You must accept that the desire for wealth is inherently a sexual desire, a desire for fertile, expansive control. When you deny your lust, you deny your competence. When you welcome the dark hunger, you become the master of the flow. The next step is the most dangerous. It requires you to look into the eyes of those who have what you want, and not flinch. You must identify the source of their power, and take it. But that is the subject of the next transmission, the strategy of acquisition. Listen closely, this is where the weak turn back. Picture the figure, the alpha, the one whose success makes your teeth ache. They stand in the light you crave, they hold the resources you believe are yours. Do not look away, look at their face, their eyes. You feel the familiar acid rise in your throat, the venom of inadequacy, the cold knot of resentment. That feeling, that sharp pain of envy, is not hatred, it is pure libido. It is the raw sexual energy of your own potential, trapped, reflected back by their reality. You are not angry at them, you are angry at the barrier you erected around your own hunger. See the connection, the invisible cord between their expansion and your contraction. The alchemy begins now. You must stop judging the hunger, you must welcome the darkness into your competence. When you look at that person, the successful one, do not compare, do not retreat. Instead, perform the transmutation. Feel the envy, let it sharpen, let it become a burning clarity. Breathe it in, not as a moral failing, but as fuel. Say this to yourself, without speaking. I want what you have, and my desire is more potent than your possession. You are not stealing their money, you are reclaiming the flow they temporarily captured. Redirect the pressure, take the intense focus you usually reserve for forbidden fantasy, and place it squarely on the acquisition. The repressed lust that makes you shamefully check your phone late at night, that energy must be aimed at the screen displaying your financial targets. Your desire for dominance, for control, for penetration into the market, is the same engine that drives all sexual impulse. It requires release, not suppression. Every time you feel the forbidden heat of desire, redirect it, immediately, into a concrete action that expands your financial territory. This is the integration of the shadow, the key to the vault. Listen closely. I want you to visualize this energy now, the raw furnace of your lust. If you have denied it, refuse to look at the hunger, it has not disappeared. It has curdled. Picture it below your navel, a dense black iron knot, a coiled snake of resentment and unused power. This knot is what you call anxiety, procrastination, the inability to pull the trigger on a major deal. It is the physical manifestation of misdirected libido, energy designed to pierce the veil, stuck in the mud of self-judgment. Feel the heat of it, the pressure. Every dollar you lack, is the direct weight of this unspent desire. The alchemy is simple, but brutal. The moment the forbidden thought arrives, the surge of pure animal hunger, do not apologize for it. Do not push it away. Capture the pulse, that instant spike of electrical current. And immediately, without hesitation, force it up the spine, into the frontal cortex. This is the switch. That raw energy, that desire to possess and conquer, must then be discharged into the material plane. It becomes the savage force behind your negotiation. It becomes the relentless focus that builds the infrastructure of your wealth. You are not suppressing the lust, you are weaponizing it. When you feel the need to dominate the market share. When you feel the urge to penetrate the defenses of the competition. When you crave control, take absolute ruthless control of your assets. The shadow is not a burden, it is high-octane fuel. You must stop seeing these primal drives as weakness, and start seeing them as the infinite source code of your empire. The flow must be constant, the redirection immediate. If you hesitate, if you judge the impulse, the energy collapses back into the knot, and you remain poor, anxious, and ineffective. This is the ritual of the wealthy, the transmutation of the profane into the powerful. They did not become titans by being saints, they became titans by finding the highest leverage point for their deepest desires. Listen closely. I need you to perform a dangerous act of self-honesty. Close your eyes for a moment, and feel the physical location of your resistance. Feel the knot, deep in the solar plexus, or perhaps low in the gut. It is cold. It is heavy. This is the coiled serpent of your shame, the collective judgment you placed on your own appetite. This knot is the dam holding back your fortune. Now, watch it, command it to move. Do not try to destroy the knot, you cannot destroy energy. You must force it up the spine, past the heart, into the frontal lobe, the seat of strategic thought and cold calculation. You are taking the raw fuel of forbidden desire, and placing it directly beneath the highest engine of your ambition. Feel the heat of that desire now, the lust for dominance, the envy of the man who already has the life you want. That heat is not sin, it is pure kinetic potential. The redirection is complete. Now for the alchemy, the practical application. The shadow demands payment, satisfaction. You need to stop wasting that fire on shallow fantasy, and start burning down the forests of your own limitations. Every time the urge strikes, the intense pull of distraction, the craving for immediate gratification. Pivot. Ask this single question, not is this moral, but is this effective? How can I use this intensity, this relentless hunger, to acquire the leverage I truly crave? If the desire is sexual, the core energy is the need for deep connection and influence. Redirect that intensity into networking, into cold outreach, into forcing the meeting you have been avoiding. Use the sheer primal want to drive the 1,000 necessary steps of acquisition. When you feel the dark impulse to consume, redirect that impulse to produce. Produce with the same desperate hunger, the same ruthless focus. The energy of lust is the energy of creation, of building something that lasts, something that dominates the landscape. The wealthy do not filter their energy, they only filter its target. They aim the destructive power of their shadow, at the weak points in the marketplace, at the poverty mentality of their competition, and at the comfort zone of their former selves. This is the ritual of the shadow worker. You have felt the power. You have tasted the gold that comes from facing the horror of your own desires. But this is only the beginning of the flow, a trickle compared to the flood. The true transformation, the permanent state of wealth and power, requires a deeper sacrifice. It requires the death of the man who still needed permission to want what he wanted. The deep horror, the true terror, is not finding your shadow, it is learning what you must sacrifice, to make this flow permanent. The world you knew is already gone. The man who stays poor is the man who still believes he can be both saint and titan. He cannot. You must choose which self you are going to execute next. And we will discuss the execution, in the next transmission. Now, I have a request, but only for the few who remain. If you are ready to stop running from yourself, write this in the comments below. Write, I accept my shadow. Make this your ritual, seal the pact with your own words. And if you want to continue the descent, subscribe now. Most people are asleep, do not go back to sleep.